Hello there, elites, how's it going? It's me, Wattles. Welcome back to the Minecraft Guide, episode number 43. Oh boy, it's a big episode. Today we've got a huge project. This project is something that has been requested from me since the beginning of the series. I think on episode 1 I saw this comment, and on episode 42, the last episode, I'll probably end up seeing the comment as well. But today it's the time. We're actually going to build a cobblestone generator in this world. That's gonna be a big... Oh, wait, what's that, Pam? No. Okay, I meant iron farm. We're gonna build an iron farm today, gamers, and it's gonna be big. This is a huge advancement in our world. Once we have this thing built, we're gonna have pretty much infinite iron. Anytime we're over at the base here, working on something, building something, AFKing in something, then we'll be getting iron, and more iron means more projects. Iron is one of, if not the most important material in Minecraft. This stuff is used in pretty much everything. If you like redstone, you'll need iron. If you like digging, well, you'll probably need iron, at least until you get diamonds. To get diamonds, of course, you'll need iron. If you like the stonecutter block, you'll need iron. And if you like many other things in Minecraft, iron is the way to go. Lanterns, for example, again, you need iron. So today, we're gonna fix all of our iron problems. But thankfully, we actually have been stockpiling more and more iron back up, so that's good. But we won't need those stockpiles for very much longer. So I actually had a 1.14.4 iron farm design that worked really well. At least for me, it worked really well. But I did see that a lot of people had some issues with it. I kept those issues in mind when tweaking the design for Minecraft 1.15. I've done quite a bit of testing on this iron farm. It does work, but there's an asterisk at the end of that sentence. Today's episode and the next few episodes will kind of be an experiment, a stress test of sorts. I have done quite a bit of testing on the design that we'll be building today, and it seems to work fine, but I also haven't built it in survival yet, and I haven't let it run for a long time. So we're gonna build the iron farm today, let it run, and hopefully it's good. If there's a problem, in a few episodes we'll come back and modify it and fix it up. If this iron farm does end up working long term, I will definitely do a step-by-step tutorial on it, and if that's already happened, there'll be a card on screen now, but on release day, this definitely hasn't happened. That won't be for a couple weeks. So, first things first, we need to gather materials. In between episodes, I've been cooking up a bunch of smooth stone. I think on today's build, I'd like to use stone bricks, smooth stone, and stone. That's a pretty strong, sturdy feel. If I had a bunch of iron, I would honestly be using iron blocks because I think that would be a huge flex and it would look really cool. But yeah, unfortunately, that's not the case. These gray blocks will have to do. So those are kind of good. We should have enough building blocks. We will need some glass though, so I'll have to probably end up smelting up some of the sand, but fortunately, I have loads of sand as well. Matter of fact, we'll go ahead and get that going right now. Now there are two other things that we need to get before we can jump into the build. I actually did move most of the supplies over to the build site. The first thing is a named name tag. I think we'll call this maybe Bad Wattles. Pretty creative, I know, but Bad Wattles will be the zombie that powers this farm. So name tag check. The next thing that we need is a bucket of lava. The bucket of lava could be tricky, but fortunately, I know where a bunch of lava is located, and that is right here. So bucket of lava, boom, we're good, and wow, that's the first lava bucket in this world? That's kind of crazy, but I guess I believe it. Now, also, look at this little guy down here. We definitely have a slime chunk, and it's probably located right in here. So we're going to do that and check it out later. Today, that's definitely not the goal. So while we head over to the build site, let's talk about the why. Why would you want to build an iron farm in your world? Well, obviously, like I said in the intro, for infinite iron. If you have more iron in your world, you can do a lot more projects. If you're thinking about making gigantic auto farms, like I'm kind of thinking about, then an iron farm is definitely going to help you out. If you're making some sort of gigantic, hyper-productive sugarcane farm, not a zero-tick one, but like a giant one, you'll need a lot of iron. If you need to make a bunch of shears for maybe your automatic wool farm, again, lots of iron. So if you're having problems with staying stocked up on iron, an iron farm is for you. Now, supplies. First, we'll talk supplies, then we'll talk about the build. To build this build, you will need 4 villagers and 1 zombie. Now, for each villager, you'll need a bed, so 4 beds, and you'll also need 2 workstations. You will need some signs, you'll need 9 hoppers, a chest, some walls or fences. Fences would do as well. And then building blocks. You'll need lots and lots of building blocks. Now, technically, the building blocks can really be anything. You could use iron. You could use dirt if you really wanted to. Probably not wood, though. Don't use flammable blocks. There will be lava in this design. So if you use something that lava doesn't really get along with, like wood, well, you're gonna have big problems. Now, I think I'd like to build our iron farm straight off of the back of the storage building, somewhere right over here where this monstrous thing is, the floating tree that I was meant to remove on episode 1. Sorry guys, I got a little distracted. So to start things off today, we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of terraforming and a little bit of removing of cursed, terrible looking things. Now, this is actually the first build behind the storage building. This is sort of a big step in the grand character arc of our town, if our town was a character. After today's iron farm build, we'll probably end up building more builds behind the storage building, and the storage building will actually start to become a centerpiece of our town, which will be really, really cool. That has been the plan all along, and it'll be cool to see it actually come into reality. So, while we wait for those tree leaves to go away, let's go ahead and get started on our farm. So, first things first, the center of the farm. I think I'd like this iron farm to probably be centered somewhere around this torch right here. Eventually, I'd like to make a path coming off of that center circle path over to the iron farm. I think that could look cool. So let's say center, maybe here actually. We'll move it forward a little bit. Now, we're currently standing on Y67. We're going to want to go ahead and add 20 to that number. Now, 20 is honestly just an estimate. Here we are, way up at Y87. That should be good. This is pretty high up in the air. Now, the reason we're building it so high up in the air is so the iron golems that spawn within this farm don't spawn on the surface. If they spawn on the ground around here, we're going to have a problem. They won't be funneled into our disposal system, we'll say. So, right here is the center block. Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem. Pam, you gotta get down from there. That is a dangerous fall for a dog like you, Pam. You come back over here. You're gonna stay right here on the ground for the build. You need to not get hurt. By the way, I'm not using scaffolding because your guy still doesn't have scaffolding. I really, really do need scaffolding though. So from the center block, on the left, we'll want to go 5 blocks out. So there's 4 and then 5 right here. We'll do the edge of this iron farm platform with smooth stone because smooth stone looks really, really strong. And the other direction, we'll want to do the exact same thing. So 4 blocks and then the 5th one is smooth stone. That's 11 right there. Now, from the center block going towards the back, we'll want to go 1 block, then another block up here, and then 1 more right there. The back of this farm should raise up a little bit, so we'll go, I think 2 more, so that's 4, and then finally, the 5th one right there. That's good. Now we can go ahead and fill all of this in and turn this into a rectangle. Okay, so boom, rectangle right here. Now the front dimensions. The front is a little bit different. Instead of going 5 blocks out, we'll need to go 6 blocks out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. And then on the 6th one, we'll again do smooth stone because that is the border. Now we can go ahead and fill all of this in. Now this platform is eventually going to be covered in water. This platform is where all iron golems will spawn on this farm. Eventually, we'll be putting water on this platform going in one direction towards the front side, so this side over here, to basically dump all of the iron golems off of this thing. Not the nicest thing in the world, but for iron, and I guess for poppies too, this will get us lots of poppies. It must be done. So, here we go, we have a platform now. Now, I'm leaving a hole in here so I can get up and down, because we actually need to go down off of this thing, back over to the stone cutter, because I need a bunch of walls now. Next up, we need to surround this whole floating platform with either walls or fences. This is going to stop iron golems from falling off of the wrong side of this platform. So this time around, I'll be using walls. Walls will look really nice, I think, but fences would work just as well. The walls just basically fit into the color palette that I'm working with on this build here today. But when placing your walls, don't place them on the front of this thing. I'm 1 wall short. Ah, man. But all the way around the platform, just like this. And boom, final wall in. Now it's time to go under this platform, but first a little bit of an explanation. Ever since Minecraft 1.14, iron golems can be spawned using villager fear. If 4 villagers see the same zombie and they're close enough to each other, they will try and spawn an iron golem. But there's a few requirements for this to actually work. The villagers need to sleep every once in a while, and they need to be able to work as well. Otherwise, that iron golem summoning magic, it's basically cancelled. It won't work. Yeah, villagers can summon iron golems in, but they literally can only do it when they work. Does it make sense? No way. Not at all. So now we need to go down below this platform and make a holding cell for a zombie. This dirt block marks the center spot on this platform. So we'll go ahead and go 1, 2, 3, and then go down 1 more block, 4 right there, and then place a permanent block. Now, on this block is where a zombie will stand. So, we actually need to build a staircase going all the way up to this block right here, and then get a zombie standing on there. We'll also want to surround that block with some walls, of course, so once we get the zombie on it, it can't walk off of it. So that means I need to go back over to the storage building really quick and grab, I think I'd like to do black stained glass. So in the iron farm building process, this is honestly the most dangerous step because, I mean, you will be working at nighttime and dealing with hostile mobs. I mean, zombies, they're obviously not the nicest creatures in the game, but it's really not bad at all. In terms of a difficulty level, this would be like a difficulty level of 3. So let's go ahead and climb back up here though and get some walls around this platform. Then we'll run around and find a zombie. So let's say block right there and then glass right there. Now we'll go ahead and make a step up and get glass on all of the other sides. So I have a clever idea. I think it'll work. What we'll do is we'll start with a fully boxed in area just like this right here. Then we can go ahead and come down here to the crafting table and make a single trapdoor. This should probably work. Now we need a zombie. Oh, 3, that's a little too many. We're gonna get rid of you and you. You're gonna go away too. You're coming with me. Now, I built the staircase. We should be able to go up the staircase, maybe slowly though, so the zombie can remember what it's doing. Just like that. Now we should be able to go up the staircase and go on top of this platform, place a trap door right above the opening. I did open this spot up right here, and then the zombie should be able to be tricked to walk down into there. I did remove these walls so the zombie can get up, but oh yeah, okay, you got it, buddy. Let's go right through there. That's what I thought. Okay, you're trapped forever, my guy. Sorry. Okay, good. You're not going to take the trapdoor. Now, we need to go ahead and name tag the zombie. So, usually I would definitely recommend having the name tag on you. I guess I forgot to grab it. It should be sitting right over here, though, so no big deal. If you do end up running far away from this thing, the zombie inside of it might end up despawning before you name tag it. So, yeah, you should probably have the name tag ready. So, you are now too far away from me. How about now? You are now named Bad Wattles. Perfect. Now, if we cover this up, this zombie won't burn in the daylight because of this platform right here. This is way more than enough of a platform to stop the zombie from burning up, which is great. So, now we can go ahead and get rid of most of the staircase. Not all of it, though. We'll remove it to this spot right here and then sleep. I'm not gonna have these mobs spawning all around us. This is like the setup for definitely something bad to happen. So let's go ahead, get rid of you. Cool armor though, guy. And then roll it over to the daytime. So the point of the name tag that we just used on the zombie is to keep it in existence. If we didn't name tag the zombie, it would despawn eventually, which is definitely a big problem. This zombie really powers the whole farm. It's very, very important. In Minecraft, if you name tag a hostile mob, that basically protects it from despawning, which is good. Now, with the zombie in place and blocks all around it, so it's entirely encased, even above and on all sides, it's time to start setting up our villager platforms. Eventually, we'll come back in and remove a few blocks around the zombie so the zombie can actually be seen. But now we need 4 villager holding cells, which sounds much worse than it actually is. These are good. The villagers want to live here. I definitely promise. So these villager holding cells should be 3 blocks long, and they should be positioned on each and every side of the zombie. So we'll have one right here, one over there, and one on the other side as well. Now, so far, this is actually pretty similar to my 1.14 iron farm, but this is where things change. The previous design, these blocks right here were slabs. These 2 blocks in here need to be solid blocks this time. I'll explain it a little bit more once the villagers are actually in here. Now, when it comes to these villager holding cells, specifically the walls, we'll need to do something to keep the villagers from escaping. So, pretty simple. Make the walls 2 blocks high, and then if you want, you can connect the walls right up to the ceiling of the build. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, we will need to come back in here and get a bed and a workstation in each and every holding cell. But first, let's go ahead and actually get these holding cells in. Now, we will need to be moving villagers up here, so that means we'll actually leave this staircase in. What I'm thinking about doing here is making the staircase reach all the way around this thing. So we'll have this wrap over this way, and then, honestly, maybe we make a second one, or no, we just have it wrap the other way too. Now, you may not have noticed, and if you didn't, I wouldn't blame you, but the villagers will be standing on their favorite block mossy stone brick. The villagers are just like me. They're big brain and they love the mossy blocks, so we're gonna go ahead and let them stand on this beautiful, beautiful block. And the stone bricks too. Stone bricks are good. This will go up. This goes up here, and that goes up there. Looking good. Okay, so I'm finishing up the final villager holding cell right now. Now on this back one, because the back of the top ceiling is raised up, you will have a little bit more space. You definitely won't want spawns happening in these boxes, so I recommend putting some sort of light source in each and every box as well. So I did a torch right there. That will be perfect. I actually did go ahead and put torches in each and every other box as well. I would do lanterns, but this farm is to get the iron. I don't have the iron right now for it. Well, I probably could, but the villagers don't mind torches. I don't like torches, but the villagers can deal with it. So now we need workstations, beds, and villagers. I think we'll start off with the villagers, actually, which means it's about time to head over to Watlantis. But first, we should probably grab a boat. And I just want to say one more time, definitely don't leave the area of your iron farm until you've name tagged that zombie, because if you leave the area before you name tag it, you're going to come back and be sad because the zombie will not be there. So make sure you get that done. Alright, so this is going to be definitely the most difficult part of today's episode. We need to relocate 4 villagers from this town all the way over to our iron farm, which is all the way over there. That's pretty far. Now, to speed things up, we could maybe run a rail line. That would technically probably work, but I don't really want to run a rail line, so we're going to try and slowly move these villagers out of the town. My idea here is to either A, get them to go up the entrance path, which is going to be very difficult, so we probably won't be able to achieve that, or B, just roll them out of the side of this village somewhere. Like, find a low spot by the walls, break the walls, and move the villagers out. Now, can I trust you, good sir, to move up? No, I cannot. No, I definitely can't. Now, it is very, very important that you're using villagers that you haven't traded with before. This villager has been traded with. If I took this villager over to the iron farm, its workstation would still be over here, and that would be a huge... Oh, hi, guy. We're farming you guys today. Okay, elites, big problem. I was having a lot of issues moving the villagers. They weren't really listening, so I'm trying something new. I've removed a lot of the spare workstations other than this one right here. We're going to add that one back. Hopefully, a villager claims that place as its job, and if it does, or when it does, it'll be lured over near the minecart. Then we can put the villager in the minecart, push it up the staircase, then put it in a boat just outside of here, and row it across the field over to that area over there. So, really, I just need to get a villager on this level. What are you doing over there? You look like you're... Oh, you're the perfect candidate. Get in the boat. Get in the boat. Okay, this again. Okay, so all we need to do is knock this villager out of the boat and hope it jumps into the minecart. Will you do that for me? No, you will not. But what I can do is this right here. Here you go. Minecart, villager, thank you very much. And now you go right back on that track. And hey, thanks for the flower, my guy, but we're kind of busy. Alright, break that. You can go right out of the village now, and then we put the gate back just so villagers don't escape, and you are coming with me to your brand new home that's even better than this place. I know, it's a pretty town, but oh, no, you don't. Oh, that's dangerous. Dude, you don't want to go over there. There are cactus over there, dude. Get in the boat. Thank you. Alright, so since the villager didn't follow the bridge path, we're going to have to do something different. We'll just row the villager over this way, and eventually it should realize that it's not working there, and we can just use the lectern to move the villager over towards the iron farm. So you, do you realize that you lost your job yet? Here, have this one. That one's even better. Take that job. Well, he didn't listen, but he's in the boat, and we're moving over to that place now. Everything's going well. So, the villager is having some problems. It's really insisting on working at the old job, so we're going to go ahead and trap the villager right here until it decides to quit. Eventually, this villager will realize that it can't work at its old job, and it'll quit, and then it should take that job right there. Okay, so it's the next day, and the villager has now lost his job, which means it's time to lure it over to No, not there. I mean, it kind of works, but you're not going to be a stonecutter. You're going to be a librarian. So now we need to lure this villager over to that area over there. I did go ahead and actually set up a minecart line to move the villager all the way up into one of the holding cells. So basically, right now, it's a matter of breaking and replacing the workstation until the villager makes it to its destination, which is going to be this minecart right there. This part is actually pretty easy if you don't have a bunch of workstations near you. I was having so much trouble because that village is loaded, or it was loaded with workstations. Keep coming. You're almost here. You're almost here. One more move, and if you stand right here, I should be able to push you into the minecart. Can you go right over there? Wrong way. All right, so villager goes right over here in the minecart. Get in the cart, buddy. Yep, right there, in the cart. Now we can go ahead and get rid of this workstation. You don't need that anymore because your new job is going to be up there in actually that holding cell right there. So, will my powered rails move the villager all the way up? Here's the moment of truth. All the way up? Yes, definitely all the way up. That's amazing. Now, technically, I think you could probably lure the villager all the way up here with the workstation, basically copying what I just did, but we're going for 0 villager casualties, and if I use a workstation, maybe the villager will fall off of the staircase, and that would be a big problem. So now we need a bed in here. The bed should be placed facing away from the zombie. Then, we'll need a workstation, but first, you need to come out of that minecart. Now you stay right there, and you're gonna be a fisherman actually. So we'll get rid of this rail. We put the barrel right there. You're a fisherman now. That's beautiful. And then finally, we'll need to put a block up here, but we will also need to block spawns on top of that block. So something like a couple walls should probably do well. Let's do maybe that, and then we'll get one more wall and connect it to there, or even we could even do that. But I think I like the wall idea a little bit more. Alright, so wall goes right there, so spawns can't happen on top of that block, and then these blocks can actually be removed. Now this villager is fully enclosed in there, that is good. Now we're done actually moving over to this villager's area, so we can actually go ahead and remove this whole walkway, but for now, I'm gonna actually leave it there. Now the next job is to actually go back over to the village and basically repeat this process all over again. We need to move another village over here, then another, and then finally, one final villager all the way over into the iron farm. Judging by how long that first step took, this one might take a little bit of time as well, but thankfully, we have the method down now, so it's just a matter of moving the villagers right over to this area here. Technically, I could run rail lines throughout this whole town, but I'm not trying to do that, so I'm not gonna do that. And unfortunately, this villager is one of the ones that we cannot move. It works over here in this town for sure. Alright, so it's been a while, and when I say a while, I mean like a long while, but all of the villagers are finally inside of the iron farm, so we're pretty much ready to move on to the next step, but first, the modifications. So, for a villager to be able to spawn an iron golem, like I mentioned, it needs to be able to sleep and to work. Previously, the old iron farm didn't allow the villagers to sleep and work always. The change here that allows that to happen is these blocks right here. Previously, these were slabs, which meant the villager could always see the zombie. Now, when the villagers are standing on the bed towards the workstation, they actually won't be able to see the zombies, so they'll have a brief moment to actually get some work done, and they'll actually be able to sleep as well. They won't be able to sleep the whole night through, because as soon as they lay down, they're going to realize there's a zombie over there, but they sleep long enough for the iron golem counter thing, the magic that they have to summon the golems, to actually be reset, which is perfect. Now eventually we'll be removing these glass blocks right here by the zombie's head so the villagers can actually see the zombie, but we're actually not ready to do that quite yet because the golems will spawn on top of this thing as soon as we do that, and that is going to be a problem because we have no way currently set up to actually get rid of those iron golems. So now we need to set up that way to get rid of the golems, which means we need to add something onto the front of this farm. This rail line can probably go away though now, so first I'm going to go ahead and remove this and collect my rails. I actually did go ahead and restore the village already. I fixed the entrance path, I got all of the workstations back in, and I actually went around the town and gave the villagers that were still in the town food, so they could breed up and make more villagers. So now this front chamber area. To start things off, we'll need to build a glass ledge coming 3 blocks off of the front of this thing. So something like that, and then this, and then this. Then we can place the corner block, and then we need to connect both sides of this thing all the way across on the front. Now, you need to do this with blocks that golems won't be able to spawn on. They won't be able to spawn on glass, so glass is perfect for this. If you don't want to use glass, you could probably use like wall blocks or something like that on the top of this thing. That should be fine. Now, we need to build these walls down a little bit of a ways, which is going to be tricky. Let's remove that, and then go down here. Now, how far down? Well, really, that's up to you. We could technically build this thing going all the way down to the surface, so then our hoppers are right on the ground and we can grab the iron, but I'd rather do things a little bit differently. So I think what we'll do is we'll build this down to probably about that block right there. So what? That should be like 4 blocks, maybe 5? 4 or 5 blocks down. Now on this block right here, we'll actually build a floor here. Now this time we're going to do the floor out of smooth stone entirely, because if we just did the edges, we'd have a strip of stone in the middle. You know what? Actually, yeah, let's do that. That might actually look pretty good. We'll do a strip of stone in the middle and then smooth stone all the way around the edges. Now, as I get this floor in, we'll actually leave a 3-block gap in the center. So actually, this block, and this block will end up getting removed, but for now, I'll put them there so I can reach both sides of this thing. We'll need to fully encase this area, which means walls going up all the way around this thing on each and every side. Wow, so I'm running out of black stained glass, and not gonna lie, I'm insanely surprised that we are actually out of ink sacks. I'm gonna have to take a small break and actually go farm squid in the river. I kind of can't believe that. I thought I was doing really, really well on ink sacks. Wow. I guess not. I guess it makes sense. We don't ever really farm squid. We should maybe build a squid farm. Okay, so now I have walls going all the way around this space, even on the backside in between the villagers and, I guess, the front of the farm. Now the floor. The center 3x3 area on this thing needs to be open, so something just like that. Now above the center 3x3 area, you'll want to place signs. You'll technically only need 6 signs, like this, and then over here as well, but I'm going to go ahead and use 9 total, so I have these signs going right across the center. The only reason I'm doing that is for looks. I think that'll look better. It looks like we have wood beams going straight across the side, but you can skip those center signs. Now after that, we'll need to actually get out of this thing and dig a few more blocks down. We'll need to go 2 blocks down from this spot right here. So there's 1 and there's 2. On the 3rd block down, we'll actually want to place a center floor of hoppers. So this will take 9 hoppers total right in here. How should I do this? Let's say maybe we'll build to the front of this thing. So right there, then I think I could probably jump up and go over here. Yeah, just like this. Now, if you wanted, you could have all of these hoppers going into one chest right on the front of this thing, but I definitely am going to do things a little bit differently. So what I'll be doing is funneling all of my hoppers towards the center hopper, and then the center hopper will be facing downwards. I'll probably build some sort of dropper system on the bottom of this thing so the iron is shot down to the surface where I can actually pick it up. But if you didn't like the sounds of that, you could absolutely just put a chest right on the front of this thing, make a staircase up to it, and grab your iron just like that. So we'll also want walls going all the way down around this thing as well. This is where the golems will be, they'll be toasted here. And if they could get out of this area, that would be definitely a huge problem. Now before you exit and close this area off completely, you'll want to do another floor of signs. This time, the signs should be placed, I guess, 1 block lower than these ones. So basically you have an extra layer of blocks in the middle. That is where we'll come back in and put the lava in just a second. So, before we put any of the liquids inside of this thing, this is what we have down here. We basically have a small containment area with a floor of hoppers. The signs are 1 block or 2 blocks, depending on how you look at it, above the floor. We'll have to come back in and get the lava in there in a minute, but first, now we need to think about moving our items down to the surface. So, again, you could totally skip this part. If you'd rather have a chest up in the air, then do that, but I don't really like that idea. So we'll do hopper, and then another hopper right there. Now, coming off of that bottom hopper, we'll need to place a dropper facing straight down. Now we need to automate this dropper so it spits the items out automatically. That is very, very easy to do. We're going to go ahead and actually use the exact same automatic dropper circuit that we used on our wool market. So first a block right there, then a comparator coming out of the dropper, just like that. Then we'll need to place a sticky piston facing upwards right there. Then we'll need an observer right on top of there, like that. Then finally, we'll need another observer placed just like that. Now if we put things inside of here, that will dispense them. It'll throw them all straight down, or somewhat straight down, onto the ground. That is perfect. So now we can go ahead and get rid of all of this dirt scaffolding. We really need to go find bamboo soon and set up something on the surface. So this dropper won't drop things perfectly straight down. So a single hopper down here will definitely not work. For now, I'm going to set something up that'll definitely be temporary, and then eventually we'll make something that's a little bit nicer. The temporary setup will be some hoppers on the ground, 9 hoppers to be exact, going into a single chest. Again, later on we'll make something a little bit more fancy, but this will absolutely do for today. But unfortunately, your guy right here has officially ran out of iron again. So we're going to go ahead and throw this iron in the furnace right there, let that smelt up. And while that's doing that thing, we're going to actually go ahead and get the water and the lava into this farm. So to make things a little bit easier, we'll go ahead and craft a second water bucket and then find some water. Where is the nearest water? Probably over this way. So first, on the top of this thing, we'll need to line this back wall area with water. Now, I just realized that, unfortunately, because the water will be pouring down like that, we'll need to place some more blocks to actually create water sources here, because otherwise, it's not going to actually duplicate. So there we go, water source. Now we can just copy this over and over and over again, but we'll have to place a bunch more temporary blocks, I think. Yeah, definitely. So, water lines the whole backside. Now, just to be overly safe, we'll go ahead and put some torches on top of this thing that we will later turn into lanterns. I don't think mobs can spawn up here because there'll be water everywhere, but, you know, I'm just gonna be safe. The torches won't hurt. They won't look as good, but we'll remove them later, like I said. So now the dirt can actually all come out, and the water should flow right over to the front ledge without spilling down. That is perfect. That's correct. Now we need to go down here and get some more water in. So water right there. And I just realized I forgot to fill my other water buckets up. So water sources all the way along that side and water sources over here. But first, we're going to actually go ahead and get the lava placed right there above the middle sign. The lava will then spill all over those signs and be good. The water thankfully won't spill in here and mess with anything. The water that we placed in here will funnel all of the golems right into that lava. They'll then fall into the lava and then start burning. Now iron golems are pretty tall, so they'll actually be standing on the hoppers while being burnt, so long as they're not trying to swim in the lava. And then after they're removed, their drops will be quickly picked up by the hoppers, funneled down into this system, shot down into the ground. We'll get more hoppers down there, and then all of the iron will be put into that chest right there. We'll definitely be making that chest a double chest. Now it's time to actually go ahead and get this farm running. So we'll use even more beautiful dirt scaffolding to move over towards the middle. Then all we need to do is remove the glass blocks separating the zombies and the villagers, but not all of them, obviously. We'll leave these lower ones. So you can go, you can go, you can go, and you can go. Now the villagers will slowly move towards the center and freak out. They're going to run around a lot like that. That means they're concerned about the zombie. But if we listen closely, every now and then, we'll actually hear some workstation noises, so they will get their work in. At nighttime, they'll be able to sleep, so all of their conditions will be met. Iron Golem should begin spawning any minute here, and we should start to see iron getting shot down to us down here, which is really, really nice. Now, all we need to do is make a few more chests, 2 to be exact, and then combine those chests with some hoppers to make even more hoppers. But look at that. That is our first iron golem right there. That is a special, beautiful moment. Look at that. The iron is thrown right down onto the ground, and even a poppy too. That is amazing. And so, that is actually the full iron farm build for you guys. That thing will produce us a lot of iron automatically while we're in this general area. And look at that, iron golem number 2 already spawning. This is looking really, really good. Now sometimes, like I mentioned, the iron golems will try and swim in the lava. There's no way to really stop that other than placing a campfire floor, but the lava just does the job a little bit better. That is amazing. We're gonna definitely change that dropping system later though, because as you can see right there, the iron isn't always shot down into the middle, but for now, this will kind of work. I'll need to just pay attention to it. Maybe I'll come back in and just add some water to funnel everything towards the middle, but that is actually going to be just about it for this episode, Elites. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. That's how you build an iron farm in Minecraft 1.15. It's pretty similar to my 1.14 design with some slight modifications. Now, like I mentioned, this is also going to be a little bit of a test. I'll have this thing running for a few episodes time. If there are any issues, I'll let you know. We'll fix it. And then eventually, I'll do a step-by-step tutorial that'll be a little easier to follow than today's episode, so keep your eyes out for that, Elites. But until next time, stay cool. If you enjoyed today's episode, drop a like and subscribe. Today, I'd like to send a big shout-out, a big thank you to my patron, Neve. Thank you very much for the support, and I will see you all in the next episode. Goodbye, Elites. Big moves were made today.